Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Garden of Sports Fantasy Hockey Podcast, the one and only fantasy hockey podcast you should be listening to. I'm your host, Zach Gardner, alongside my brother, Jake Gardner.
Hello, hello.
And today we're joined by a special guest, good friend, Sean Burke. What's up, Sean?
Hello there.
Yeah, he also has more credentials than good friend. He knows hockey like the back of his hand, so...
Oh, yeah,
great.
he's a big hockey guy.
At one point in my life.
He introduced me to hockey, so
Zach's just
I owe it all.
Good friend.
I owe it all to Sean.
Just have him
I
on.
didn't know
He's
anything
a good
about
guy.
hockey.
So yeah, Sean, buddy. So hockey is a sport where you go up and down the ice and try to score goals on the goalie. So what are your takes?
Yeah, you put the biscuit in the back of the net, bud.
Hell yeah, bud.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna go over our top 10 positional rankings for each position. So we're gonna go over center, left wing, right wing, defense, and goalie. And we each filled out a little top 10 list here, and yeah, we're gonna talk about it because there are some difference of opinions. So yeah, without any further ado, let's just jump right into this.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna start it off with center here, and then I don't know, Jake, do you want to start with you? You'll just go from 10 to 1.
So you could just, rip me apart at the end here. Okay, so 10, I got Jack Hughes. 9, Mika Zibanejad. 8, Sidney Crosby. 7, Jack Eichel. 6, Sebastian Aho. 5, JT Miller. 4, Alexander Barkov Jr. 3, Nathan McKinnon. 2, Austin Matthews. 1, Connor McDavid. I think the top 3 are pretty easy. I mean,
yeah, especially the top 1. He's that's just consensus. Can't have him anywhere else.
good old Connor.
All right, and then we'll just go over. Each of us will run down our list, and then we'll talk about it after. So, Sean, why don't you go from 10 to 1? Your top 10 centers.
I'll start with my number 10, JT Miller. Number 9, Jack Hughes. Number 8, the old man, Sidney Crosby, still making the list. Number 7, I think he's going to have a breakout year, Trevor Zegras. Number 6, coming back from injury last year. I think he's going to have a breakout year this year. New team, different management, Jack Eichel. Number 5, nice. Steven Stamkos. Number 4, Alexander Barkov. And then you kind of look at the top 3, they're all the same. I got Austin Matthews at number 3, Nathan McKinnon, number 2, and the almighty Connor McDavid.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy. All right. Very nice. Very, very nice. And then I'll wrap it up here. Mine top 10. So 10, Jack Hughes. He was on a 100-point pace last season, but he dealt with some injuries, only played 49 games. But I think if he can stay healthy, he would easily be a top 10 center with that kind of production. And the team's a little even better this season. So I think he could squeak into the top 10 possibly. And then number 9, I'm with Sean with Jack Eichel. Well, I guess Jake has him too. We all agree Jack Eichel could be in the top 10 this year. 8, Mika Zibanejad. Guy's just a fantasy stud. I think he can be overlooked at times, but he's a very good player. Number 7, Steven Stamkos. Another year, another top 10 for old Stevie. Number 6, Sebastian Aho. This guy is fucking awesome. I really like Aho. Number 5, Sidney Crosby.
Hey-o.
Guy just yo-ho.
Yo!
Sebastian Aho, yo-ho. But number 5, Sidney Crosby. I think he's gonna
top 5, huh, Zach?
He's just he knows how to score points. As much as I hate the bastard.
He's not washed up enough for you at this point?
Not yet. We'll get there. Maybe when he's 50, he'll look like he's regressing. I don't know.
All right, he's not Tom Brady. Let's say that.
And number 4, Alexander Barkov. I feel like he's just he's very much the consensus number 4 behind those like Studley top 3. He's a distant 4th, but he's distant from the top 3, but he's also distant from like 5 through 10. I feel like he's just comfortably at 4, all by himself. Number 3, I have Nathan McKinnon. Number 2, my boy Austin Matthews, and number 1, Jonathan Taves. No, Connor McDavid.
Taves,
So-
get out of here.
Yeah,
It would've been
so
fun.
What was his freaking illness again?
illness. That's all I know.
thought
I
it was
don't know.
some sort of blood. It was some sort of blood disorder.
Oh, fuck.
You know what? I'm an
I think.
asshole. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, probably
At least
because,
he
you know,
wasn't
some
allergic to his gloves.
complications from his vegan diet, I would imagine.
At least he wasn't allergic to his gloves like Marian Hossa.
That has to suck. Allergic to your equipment.
Yeah,
Didn't they make that one up?
they had to have. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Oh my god. But yeah, so one thing I want to ask you, Sean, why do you have McKinnon above Austin Matthews? I want your reasoning on that
Dude,
one.
It's partially my my commitment to my second favorite team out here. It's a little bit biased,
New
Yeah.
home. Yeah.
but at the same time, I feel like he's gonna continue to improve on such a good team that he's on. When you're playing with the Avs, you have weapons all around you in fantasy. That's going to add up to a lot of points.
Mhm.
Not that Austin Matthews doesn't, but coming off a Stanley Cup year, I think McKinnon's just going to keep improving.
And they're the fastest team too, right?
Yeah, super
Which
fast.
gives them another chance at more points than anybody else.
Yeah, a lot of breakout
And-
plays.
And I like that the Avalanche coach, his name's escaping me right now. You probably know it, Sean, off the top of your head. What's the coach name?
Oh, it's shit.
Jared Bednar.
Yeah,
Jared
Bednar.
Bednar. Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I like how he doesn't try to big brain everything. Like he never splits up McKinnon. He always leaves McKinnon out there with Rantanen basically at all times on the top line, 5-on-5, and on the power play. McKinnon and Rantanen are always together, and I like that the two of them always play together. I mean, why break that up? They're so good together, you know.
The modern day Kane and Taves.
Yeah, until that was only for a couple years though, and then they would always split them up. Like,
Oh yeah.
that was
Yeah,
only
after-
from like
after a while,
2009 to like 2012 that they did
Yeah,
that.
and then they tried out Kane at center for a while, and
We forget that. That's the dark days.
yeah,
Why'd Kane only score 50 points this year? Oh, he was playing center. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Oh, and we keep trading all of his weapons.
He's exactly what you want at
Yeah.
center. What is he? 5'10", like 190. He's exactly
Yeah.
what you want at center.
Yeah, that's what you want at center, and then you want to take Artemi Panarin, the best weapon that he ever had at his side, and just trade him to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Yeah,
For Brandon
really
I
Saad,
can't believe that one, dude.
they needed more
really-
grit. They needed more grit. They had to get Saad back.
that really helps you, pad your point totals in fantasy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I think that kind of introduced me to alcohol.
Yeah.
Bro, that was I keep up with hockey. I don't watch it all the time, but like as much as you guys. But still, that one's still. I couldn't believe they fucking did that. Just makes
Yeah.
no
Let's get
sense.
Saad back for the old washed up Jonathan Taves. Get
And
rid
it was,
of.
they
Get rid of
still
literally
Is it
the
because
next
they couldn't
great-
pay him? Was that why?
that
don't
wasn't
know.
even the reason. They still had Panarin under contract for 2 more seasons.
Yeah, literally get rid of the next up and coming big left wing in the league and get Brendan Saad back. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Great idea.
They had him under contract. The only reason they made the trade is because fucking Bowman was freaking, like, he just got so, he was freaking out because they had the best record. Like, they had the best record in the West that season. And then they go to the playoffs and they got bounced in the first round. I think by the Wild. And Bowman freaked out and he's like, we need to make big wholesale change because we obviously can't win with this group. And it was ridiculous.
Well,
Instead of upgrading the defense, he just traded Panarin.
Oh,
So
it was just the front office. It wasn't like our
Well,
star
and
player
Taves was
Kane
also
didn't like
asking
him,
for
or
Todd back.
no,
Okay.
Kane and Panarin are still like really close, good friends. So
And
like
Taves was
Oh, you
asking for
talked to him?
Brandon Todd back.
no,
Okay.
there's interviews of Kane talking about
I'll
how
just mess with
surprised
you.
and how shocked he was when that trade went through. But yeah, and then back to topic here though. I mean,
Yeah.
us Blackhawks fans, we get fucking sidetracked. But
hmm
Get sidetracked by one of the worst teams in the league.
I just want to also note that I didn't have JT Miller at center because I ranked him in my left wing. So because he plays both positions. So that's the only reason I didn't have JT Miller in the top 10 centers.
Mhm.
But
Do you want me to explain
explain what?
why I have him at 5?
Sure, go ahead. JT Miller.
He was ranked 14th overall, and then he was 5th among centers. Um, or third. He was third best center behind Matthews and McDavid last year, with 216.8 fantasy points. And I feel like to not have him within the top 10, like, yeah, he could regress, but to not have him is just disrespectful to his greatness. So,
I mean, he's good. I don't know. I'm not a JT
and
Miller fan.
this is also a contract year. So,
Well, he got a contract already.
okay, so I'm reading some outdated.
Yeah, he
here.
just signed it last week. So yeah,
Okay, well, it's good.
yeah, they got
Well, now
him for
he's-
I think 8 more years.
I want to pick your guys' brain about why you guys don't have Trevor Zegras at least at number 10 on your lists. I mean, this guy's going to have a breakout year this year.
I believe it. I have him listed in when we're going to do our next episode in the breakout players. Like I have Zegras. I like Zegras a lot. I don't know. There's so many. Center is such a packed position. There are so many good centers when you start looking at the list of centers.
There's a lot, but you're also looking at the Ducks who are improving every year. Going to be a great team this year.
Oh yeah, and then I love that they got Klingberg. I mean, I think Zegras definitely has top 10 potential. I just wasn't ready to like put it out there, but I love that you did. So I like that you did so that we could talk about it. But yeah, I just wasn't quite ready to, because I was looking at. I didn't want to take anyone out of the top 9 that I had, and then I wanted Jack Hughes at 10. So I just, I have Zegras in like that, maybe that top 15. I could definitely see him in there.
I just had to pick a breakout and just like different lists and stuff I'm reading has Jack Hughes higher. Zegras is like at 34 in NHL.com. So I don't know what they have against him, but
I could easily see him shooting way past
being
that.
better than that. Yeah, I figure he would be better than that.
I definitely have him top 15 this year for sure, and with top 10 potential, absolutely. I like Zegras a lot.
Is the team good?
The team is even better now. I mean, if you think Troy Terry is going to continue what he did last year and it won't be an outlier season, he scored 37 goals, Troy Terry. I mean, and he's going to be on that first line with Zegras.
Okay.
So I think that could be something, but the big move is they got the John Klingberg for defense. They got a nice little puck moving defenseman now.
I know him.
They don't have to have 38-year-old or whatever he is. Cam Fowler is your top defenseman anymore.
Yeah.
So
I'm moving on a little bit here, but I'm having a real hard time in our league picking, who I want my fourth keeper to be. I mean, I have 3 of them that are pretty obvious, but I got Jack Eichel. We all got Jack Eichel in our lists, and he's easily can be a top 10 center in this league any year.
Oh yeah,
obviously been out for a couple of years, but starting fresh slate this year, new team, not with the injury, with the Sabres anymore, or the injury, and really I think it was a lot to do with the management on the Sabres.
Yeah,
but this guy. What do you guys think? What do you think he's going to produce this year?
Jack Eichel?
Yeah.
I see probably anywhere 30, 35 goals, 40, 50 assists, something like that. I could see like 85, 90 plus points, maybe approaching 100, but I think that this will be like a year where he continues to get his feet under him after the injury, and I think he'll ease into being fucking great, and I could see him definitely above 85 points this season.
Yeah. Either keep him or Patrick Kane. One of them's got to go.
Man, as much as I hate to say it, I see Patrick Kane still being like point per game, but I see him at like 81 points,
Yeah.
just because of the shitty I don't think he's going to score 60 assists again this year, because who's fucking scoring the goals?
He's on the Blackhawks.
Who's scoring the goals? Well, he's not going to get 60 assists. They traded DeBrincat away. That's it. Yeah. So that's at least 30 assists, 20 to 30 assists gone. Who's going to replace that?
Yeah.
Well, who else do you have? Because like for keepers, you don't want to go off the top 10 list at center. You want to go off of like overall.
Oh yeah.
I look at it like can my keeper be a top 40 player? Like can I be a top 40 guy?
But in our league, it's forwards and defensemen. So it's just like,
yeah,
I'm either keeping one forward or keeping the other. So it's just
unless you have one of the top two goalies, then you would consider goalie keep. But
which I do not.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, bud. Yo ho.
Yo ho! Oh my god.
Yo ho! Aho!
But we can talk about that. Bring that up at the end. We're gonna move on to left wing here, but definitely keep that one.
Zach's list at all? Or are we good?
Oh yeah, what do you guys got? You guys got a question for my list?
Just gonna give him a pass here.
Nah. That kind of makes sense, except for the almighty Sidney Crosby in his top 5. That's the only thing that doesn't make sense. But
all right,
I don't know, man.
He's not washed up yet, according to Zach.
I mean, he's not.
How old is he now?
He's got to be like
30s?
60 or 70.
Yeah, he does the blood sacrifice. He's
35. He's younger than I thought. I thought he was older than that. Okay.
Yeah, he's I think he's still going to be, top 5, 6. So.
Was he last year?
I think he was actually, yeah. Kind of underrated. That's what I'm saying. Like, he still puts up fucking numbers.
All right.
But
he's got Jake right next to him.
Yeah, he's got Gensel. He's finally got a good winger, like consistent winger. Like the lineup for Pittsburgh is pretty consistent, which I think makes Crosby even better. There was a few years there, a good 5-6 years, where they were just every year at a different line. So.
Last year, he was top seven last year.
Yeah, and you wouldn't think that, but until you look at the numbers, and I was surprised to see that too. I was like, oh shit. But well, moving on to left wing, Sean, why don't you give us your top 10 left wing? We'll do Sean, Jake, me.
Looks like we're all pretty stagnant with Brady Tkachuk at 10. Number 9, I got Chris Kreider. Always produces. Number 8, Alex DeBrincat, trading him away, going to a new team. Went to the Sens, right?
Yep.
I think he's going to produce a lot this year. So, Kyle Connor, number 7, Jonathan Huberdeau, number 6. With the Panthers being so good this year or last year, and I think it's going to continue. Johnny Gaudreau, number 5. Our boy Artemi Panarin, number 4. 3, Alexander Ovechkin. Now, you guys are probably going to argue with me on this because, he could be argued as old and washed up, but that guy is the best point total.
By washed up, you mean he'll go from 55 goals to 46 goals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. Highest, best point total NHL forward of our generation. So, got to leave him at number 3. Yeah. Number 2, our boy Kirill the Thrill at number 2. And then I think we're all pretty consistent there at number 1. Too bad the Oilers don't have a team behind those two guys, I know. Draisaitl, number 1. But, it takes a team to win the cup.
Well, they got Evander Kane now.
Not just 2 guys up front. Oh, takes more than 3 guys there, Zachy boy.
They got Darnell Nurse. They got Nursey Boy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Got to have more than 3 forwards and a defenseman.
He's
To
nursing
get
another
that
injury,
about.
Darnell Nurse.
Yeah. Oh
But
yeah. All right. That's my top 10 at left wing.
very nice, very nice. Slow clap.
Slow clap.
Oh, shoot.
All right, Jake, what is your top 10 left wingers?
Well, I just found out some news that I didn't realize, but I'll go over that. So Brady Tkachuk at 10, number 9, Chris Kreider, number 8, Ovechkin. Like, he's obviously still top 10. I just feel like, isn't he like 39? I mean,
He's
Yeah,
pretty
he's
old,
about
yeah.
the same age as
gotta-
he's a little bit older than Sydney,
Yeah, he's like a
Okay.
year or
but
two
not
older.
washed up. Not
Yeah.
washed up.
Not
Sidney
washed up,
Crosby's
yeah.
washed up.
Yeah, so he's still in my top 10.
Oh yeah.
Jake Gunsel at number 7. I'd put him higher, but he always has some kind of injury every year. But he's really good when he's on the ice. 6, Jonathan Herberdrew. 5, Kirill Kaprizov. Did I say that right?
It's Kirill Kaprizov, but yeah.
Oh. 4, Kyle Connor. 3, Brad Marchand. And this is the one I didn't realize he had a surgery, and he might not be back till late November. That's why he's off.
Yeah, because I was going to definitely put him on, and I read that too. Now that you say that, I remember reading
Oh,
that.
you didn't tell me that.
I forgot until you just said it now. I was like, oh,
November,
yeah.
I mean, that's only a part of the season. Like, if you got a top 10 left wing, I mean, you draft that guy and put him in December.
Mm-hmm.
But he's
Usually,
not going to finish the year top 10 this upcoming season, probably. But yeah, he's a guy that...
For when he's playing, he'll be number...
He's one of those guys that you draft and you put him on your injured reserve,
And what's great is normally he's like a first, second round pick, and you'll be able to get him in like 10th round or later because of the injury.
That's how I got Eichel last year. I drafted him like 256th overall in our draft.
Yeah.
But I'd probably... Yeah. Just with that news, I'd probably move him to the bottom of the 10.
Mm-hmm.
And just look at the list like that now.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I got Panarin, which I almost put him number 1, but you guys sold me on Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah, we had to sell you on that, huh?
Yeah, really had to sell you on the.
Is he that much better than Panarin?
Yeah.
No, he's just on a line with Connor McJesus,
And he scored 55 goals last year. No one's talking about Leon's 55 goals.
Yeah, but it really helps when you have the best player in the last like 25 years playing right next to you. Like that puts you at the top of the list.
Yeah, but it's like 50-50 though. He's sometimes he's with McDavid, sometimes he's centering the second line. So he's like literally 50-50 winger center. So but when he is playing with McDavid, it's like, okay, who's going to score here? It's crazy.
They make sure they put him on that line fairly often. So, us fantasy players can get points out of him for sure.
Yeah, when, usually by the time it gets to the third period and they're down like 3 goals because their defense and goaltending ain't that great, they need to put them 2 together.
Because Mike Smith is a block of Swiss cheese.
Because they got to score 7 goals a game. That's how they get their wins. So
they got Swiss cheese in net and and Munster in front.
Yeah, yep, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, but yeah, so that's good. And then, like Jake said, I'll do my rankings. We all have Brady Tkachuk just in the top 10 at number 10. I think this dude's a fucking stud. Number 9, I have JT Miller as a left wing. But I probably should have had him at center upon further review. But he's my 9 left winger.
Doesn't matter in most fantasy leagues.
He plays both.
Forward.
Yeah. Number 8, I got Jake Gensel. Like him. He could be higher than that, but just the injuries, I couldn't put him really any higher. Number 7, I got Ovechkin. Like Ovechkin a lot. I just, he's definitely in the top 10. So
to you, Ovechkin is less or more washed out than Sidney Crosby in your eyes. I'm going to keep on this train, Zach.
I don't know. I feel like Ovechkin's more just a goal scorer, whereas Sidney Crosby, you're more well-rounded with like all the stats. I feel like Ovechkin's...
that
I don't want to call him a one-trick pony, but I mean, if he's not scoring goals, he's doesn't have a ton of value. But he has not proven that he is not going to score over 40 goals anytime soon. So
I have a
Yeah.
question.
yes,
Yeah.
Is there anything with like the Russian players might not play over here because of what's going on in
there is
overseas?
some worry about that. That's why. Well, at least Kaprizov, he didn't go back to Russia, so he's still here.
So the players would rather be here, or what's going on?
The players would rather be here, but some, go home in the off season for and then they might not be able to get back to the U.S. Some of them.
That's so crazy.
But I know Panarin and Kaprizov stay here in the U.S. But there is worry about some of the Russian guys that were drafted this season that they might not be able to go over. There was a goalie that was drafted.
Yeah, shoot,
and
he
was
drafted by Russia.
There was a goalie that was drafted in the draft this last season. Pretty good, highly ranked prospect, and he was also getting his visa in order to come over here. And the Russian government drafted him into the military and sent him to some.
Kidding. Oh my god!
No, it's literally true. It happened to this goalie. He's like stationed in like some fucking base in northern Russia where it's just fucking like negative 10 degrees.
Wow, did he like speak out against the dude or what?
I don't know what, but he's there until further notice.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, I just thought about that. Like,
but number 6, but number 6, I got Johnny Gaudreau. Johnny Hockey. I think he's going to be great playing with Patrick Laine on Columbus, and then Jonathan Huberdeau 5. I think another ho-hum year for Huberdeau, right? Yo-ho. Number 4, I got Kirill Kaprizov. Like this guy a lot. I mean, I think he is the next Artemi Panarin.
I don't know how you put Kyle Connor ahead of Kirill Kaprizov, but whatever.
I think Kyle Connor's
biased.
I have a little biased because I had Connor on my team this last season, and he almost had 100 points. I think he finished at like 96 or something like that. And I think he's like the unquestioned number 1 on Winnipeg, and I think he could bounce off this and score over 100 points this season. And I think the Wild got a little bit worse losing Kevin Fiala, so I don't know if Kaprizov is going to have over 100 points again. And then number 2, I got Artemi Panarin. I feel like he's a lock at number 2 because I got Leon Draisaitl at number 1 for left wing. So, top 10. Anything of note you guys want to talk about?
I just totally forgot Johnny Hockey, and I would throw him on here.
Yeah.
Most likely, and kick out
Marchand probably.
Probably, yeah. I like Johnny Hockey a lot.
So Zach, why don't you have Chris Kreider? All right, thank you guys for asking.
You always hated Chris Kreider.
I'm not a Chris Kreider guy.
Yes, yeah, you hate him. My God.
I don't hate. I would not say hate. I would just say not a fan.
Oh, you always say like, oh, he's trash, and like every time I bring him up when he's doing well.
Well, he was great this last season, but I don't think he's going to score. I don't think he's going to score like 30 power play points again this year. So I don't know. I don't feel like he's as easy of a lock as in the top 10. I don't know. Not a fan of his. He's still on the Rangers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's going to be good.
The Rangers are a solid team, dude. He's backed up with a lot of players that are going to help him score points and thus help fantasy players or fantasy people score points in their leagues.
Definitely. Yeah. I just see some regression coming because he's not going to score 30 power play points again, I don't think. And his shooting percentage this last season was by far and away like just insane. I think it was like around 20%. And that's just crazy. The highest of his career. I don't know. I see some regression coming, but he could still be, still get a lot of assists and stuff and still be like top 10. But I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm just not a big fan of the guy. So.
Okay. And then
that's just me.
Question for Sean. Why do you have Kirill so high at number 2?
It's partially biased. I have him on my team. He's one of my keepers.
Okay.
But I do think that Kirill is Kirill is pretty much the next up and coming top 3 best wingers in the league.
Okay.
He's got a flair for excitement. I mean, he kind of reminds me of like Patrick Kane like 10 years ago. not even, not maybe not 10 years ago, maybe like,
Yeah,
like 10 years ago.
he is a
Think about
wizard.
it.
He is a
Yeah.
wizard with it. He can do
Like,
whatever he wants
okay.
out there. He's like a magician,
Yeah.
a puck magician.
Yeah, he reminds me of Patrick Kane in like the 2010 to 2015 era of the Blackhawks. I mean, this guy is
Yeah.
he's lights out. I mean, I can't tell you off the top of my head how many points in fantasy he scored for me last year, but
A
I'll look it
lot.
up right now. Yeah, it was a ton, dude.
Yeah, he did have like 105 just hockey points. I mean, or something
and
like that.
Granted, the Wild were also a really good hockey team last year, and they're probably going to regress a little bit this year. But yeah, Kirill scored 410 fantasy points from me last year, and this year he's projected to have 434.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's crazy.
Okay.
So
I'd probably move him up higher than based on just that great description. Wow, I'm sold.
But you can't have him, so you can't have him. He's mine.
No, for sure.
But anything else you guys want to talk about? I feel like I don't really have much to dispute with your guys' lists.
Yeah,
I like
close.
I like Alex DeBrincat in the top 10, Sean. That's the only one that I looked at. But I can see it still, though, so I don't think it's like I need to question it. But
dude, new team. He's going to be surrounded with a few better players. Like, he's not going to be on the lonely old Blackhawks this year. You know,
he was with Patrick Kane, though.
Yeah, he was. But you think about it, like the rest of the team behind him was crap.
But now he's going to be with probably Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah, this guy's he's gonna put up points on a new team, dude.
And Thomas Chabot, like a way better defenseman than anything he's had on the Hawks. Well, Seth Jones is pretty good too, but I don't know.
Seth Jones is overpaid.
Dang.
Yeah, but he's young at least. They didn't give that to like some 35-year-old after they won their 2015 Cup.
Yeah, I think you need to watch out for Alex DeBrincat this year. I may have ranked him pretty high at number 8. You know,
I like it though. I like it because I can still see it. You know, I can see it. Yep. If everything goes perfect for him over at Ottawa, he could definitely be top 10.
Yeah.
Fucking
and then I would say one last thing for left wing is Brad Marchand. Put him as a sleeper draft pick.
Yes.
Throw him on your IR.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put him down there as my sleeper.
Absolutely.
All right. Right wing.
Aho.
Oh yeah. Yo-ho.
Yo-ho.
So I'll start right wing. We'll just go Zach, Sean, Jake for this one. Just just keep it in order here. So yes, without any further gilding of the lily.
No one says that.
I just ramble.
No one says that.
Well, Zach Gardner does. Okay. But number 10, I got Mark Stone. I feel like if he could finally not be injured, he's an easy top 10. So I'm just predicting a year of health for Mark Stone, and he'll be top 10. I like he'll be probably playing, probably will be playing with Jack Eichel, and I feel like that'll easily be the best winger Eichel's ever had. So I think the two of them are going to be like a 1-2 punch, and they're going to be. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people that might have forgotten about these two guys. I think they're going to put the league on notice this year. I think Vegas is going to be really good. I know, shocking statement. Vegas is going to be good, but I think they could be. I
hate to say it, but yeah, Vegas is going to be good, and I don't.
Hot takes like hot cakes over here at Garden of Sports.
My God.
All right, move on, Zach.
Yes, okay. Number 9, Patrick Laine. I feel like he's a 40 plus goal scorer if he plays a whole year, especially being on a line most likely with Johnny Gaudreau. Easily lock it in 40 plus goals. Number 8, Kevin Fiala. I'm not the biggest believer in Kevin Fiala, but this is multiple seasons now where he's just been a stud, where I've been trying to hate on the guy, but he just is so well-rounded, especially if in a categories league. He might be even higher than 8, but I'm kind of ranking this a little bit more off of points leagues. But Kevin Fiala is a fucking categories league fucking stud. He hits, blocks, bangs, blocks, he shoots, he scores, he passes, he does everything pretty well. He's a very well-rounded guy. I like him at number 8. I think he's going to do really good with LA. I think he's easily going to be top line, top power play. Number 7, Timo Meyer. Probably a first-round pick in a categories league. The guy does everything. He's like an even better Kevin Fiala. He hits a shit ton, blocks, shoots, passes, scores goals. He does everything. Last year was like a huge breakout year for Timo Meyer. I'm a big fan of his. Number 6, Patrick Kane. I would have him higher, like in the top 4, but I feel like he's still going to be top 10 because it's Patrick Kane. And winger and right wing is kind of like out of all the positions, right wing has kind of the less amount of good players in it. It's very top heavy. So with that, Patrick Kane should still be top 10, but I just feel like he's not going to score 60 assists again this year. Be close. I don't think he's going to be close to 100 points. But I think he'll still be around point per game. So like 80 something points. Number 5, David Pastrnak, stud. And I just feel like he's just going to carry Boston like he usually does. Very good player. Number 4, Matthew Tkachuk. Really like him on Florida. I think Florida is still a very good team. Matthew Tkachuk is going to go there, and he's just going to score a shit ton of points. Number 3, Mikko Rantanen. The guy's a fucking stud. Playing on that line with Nathan McKinnon. The two of them are just going to make sweet, sweet music together. Number 2, Mitchell Marner. Same sort of thing. He plays with Austin Matthews, and he's very good in his own right. Those two are just fucking insane. Very good right winger. And then number 1, Nikita Kucherov. The guy is skilled as hell, and as long as he doesn't get hurt, I think he could definitely be the number 1 right wing. If he can play a full season, he can help you win like fantasy leagues when he's like at his best. So that's my top 10 right wings. Sean, take it away.
All right, I think the only one I don't have that you guys also have in just a different order is Mark Stone, and that's because I think he's too injury prone, so I'm not throwing him in my top 10. But still a good draft pick in fantasy leagues. Number 10, I got William Nylander. Think he's going to have a good year. Number 9, Timo Meyer. We've discussed him with yours, Zach. The guy's a stud. Kevin Fiala, number 8. He had a great year last year. I had him on my fantasy team.
You did?
Yeah. He had a great season this year, or this past season with the Wild. So, number 7, Patrick Laine. Also had him on my team last year.
Jeez.
I think. Yeah.
You had all the fucking right wings. Jesus.
David Pastrnak, number 6. Patrick Kane, I have him at number 5. I just dropped him down to number 5. I think, in a perfect world, he's your number maybe 2 to 3 winger in the entire league. But with the surrounding cast members of the Blackhawks, I don't see him any higher than 5.
Yeah.
Number 4, Mikko Rantanen, and I think he could be way higher. I think he could easily be the top winger in the league, playing on the Avs and with how skilled he is. But right now I got him at number 4. Number 3, Matthew Tkachuk. Number 2, Nikita Kucherov. I do not have him number 1 just because I'm going to disclaimer bias. I'm sick and tired of hearing about the Lightning and how good they are.
Yeah.
It easily could be the number 1 right wing. And I know I've said that 3 times now, but yeah, Nikita Kucherov, lights out player. I just think that Mitch Marner playing alongside Austin Matthews is going to be a huge, another huge year for him in points. So I got Mitch Marner at number 1, and that's my top 10.
Nice. Very nice.
All right. Number 10, Mark Stone. 9, how do you say this guy's name?
Giroux.
Claude Giroux.
8, Timo Meyer. 7, David Pastrnak. 6, Mitchell Marner. So maybe I have him a little low compared to you guys. 5, Matthew Tkachuk. 4, Patrick Kane. That's where I'd probably switch it. I feel like I'm a little biased. I'd probably move him a little lower. 3, David Pastrnak. 2, Nikita Kucherov. I think I can't put him at 1 because he does have an injury every year.
Yeah.
He'll miss like a month, where like Mikko Rantanen, who I have at number 1, he plays like the whole year, and it was kind of a breakout year last year. Like he took another step forward,
which is crazy because he was
and he
already
could,
really good.
yeah, and he could do that again. So
Yeah,
until he got to
he's
the playoffs. But playoffs don't matter in fantasy.
right.
true.
But yeah, Miko easily could be a number one right wing
Mm-hmm.
in the league for sure. You got David Pasternak there twice. Is that his brother?
Oh, dang it! I didn't mean to do that. My bad. Why did I put him at 7?
I don't know. I think he's more suited at 3 than he is at 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who would my actual 10 be then. Tarasenko?
Oh, Tarasenko. I had him on my list last night, actually.
I'll kick him out. Kick out the
He's
second David.
He's
Yeah,
regressed. He's regressed a lot in the last couple of years, Tarasenko. But he could always come back and be lights out again, like he was a couple years ago.
he did have a pretty good year last year, though. Really, but yeah, he could.
Not
And
a top 10 year.
no, but it was finally his first year in a while that he played a full season, and
Yeah,
he still scored almost over 30 goals. I mean, he still had a pretty decent year.
yeah. Let's throw him in there too. That's my sleeper. I'm gonna put Vladimir Tarasenko as one of my sleepers.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
All right, let's just move on to defense here. I'll go over my top 10. Number 10,
You don't
Mo
want to talk
Seider.
about anybody?
Oh, I mean, is there anything you guys want to talk about? I feel like we were pretty all similar here.
Well, we don't have line A, I think.
No, I have Patrick Laine on mine.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay, I see it. Never
Probably
mind.
a little higher than I should have him, but
I got one guy to talk about for each of you. So Sean Nylander, I could see him being squeaking into the top 10. I just don't know if he drives enough play. I feel like he's always a beneficiary. Like most of his assists are usually secondary. I don't know. He did finally have like a big breakout year last year. People have been calling that for a couple of, like 3-4 years now, that Nylander is going to have a breakout year, and he usually disappoints. Last year, he actually finally did do really good. I don't know. I just need to see a little bit more from him for me to put him in the top 10, but he definitely has the talent.
I threw him in there because of how good of a year he had last year. He could build upon that, and especially on the Toronto Maple Leafs, who they're a really, 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 really good regular season team.
They are. He could fantasy, definitely
in fantasy leagues where your season is based on the regular season of the NHL.
Oh yeah.
He's putting a lot of point totals up in.
I easily.
Granted, he falls asleep in the playoffs every year, but just like the rest of his team.
Right. Seriously, but I definitely have Nylander in the top 15. I don't know. For me to put him in my top 10, I have to see a little bit more, but he could. He definitely could.
I not have in my top 10 that you do.
That's
Mark
really
Stone.
the only.
Yeah, I switched out Mark Stone for Nylander.
Yeah, and the same thing with Mark Stone. He could easily fall out of it if he's hurt again, for sure. Yeah, obviously,
he's hurt, but Mark Stone is playing with Jack Eichel. If Jack Eichel comes back and has a breakout season after being gone for a couple years, or a year and a half,
the two of them could be really good.
Could be high point total year for Mark Stone.
Yeah, and then Jake, I don't know if I see Claude Giroux as a top 10, but that would be awesome.
He's getting old.
I feel like he's starting to show age, but that's just, he could. I mean, he's talented. Okay. He's a great player. I don't know.
He's showing more age than the almighty Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
Who's also showing age, but he's in your top 5, Zach. Sorry.
Yeah. So moving on. So we're going to go to defense now. I'll just go over, you guys have anything else to add about right wingers before we move on?
I'm good.
No, let's keep going.
All right. We got 2 more categories left, guys. I know you're waiting on bated breath for our rankings here. Defense, my top 10. Number 10, Mo Seider on the Red Wings. I think he's going to take another step. I think that he could be the next Victor Hedman, and I feel like this is the year that he fully breaks out into the top 10 with all the improvements that Detroit made over the offseason. I think Mo Seider, he's easily locked in as your top line defenseman and top power play guy. And he's just a good defender too. He hits and blocks shots. Like, he is good in a lot of categories, similar to like Hedman. He's a guy that could be a stud that could lead a team through the playoffs and, could be a possible Stanley Cup team. And that's all that fucking, oh God, who's the GM for Detroit now? He was the GM of Tampa Bay.
I'm not sure.
Sean?
Oh, is it, man. He was a Wings player, wasn't he?
Was a Wings player. He was the general manager of the Lightning.
Steve
built
Yzerman.
that.
Steve Yzerman.
Yeah, Yzerman. He built Tampa Bay, then leaves there, and they're continuing to win cups with the team that he built. And now he goes to Detroit, and he's doing the same thing all over again. All he does is just find fucking talent everywhere he goes. He might be one of my favorite GMs in the league, alongside the guy on Colorado. I think those two guys are easily the best two talent evaluators.
I think Joe Sakic took a step down on Colorado. I'll look
he's still involved. But he might not be
he's not the GM anymore.
Yeah, but he still built that team though.
Yeah, he built a Stanley Cup team and then he moved on.
Yeah, but so Mo Seider though, the guy's a fucking stud. Could be the next Victor Hedman. This is definitely a guy that is gonna, I think, break out this year. Number 9, Chris Letang, just old reliable. Every time I want to, I'm not the biggest fan of Letang, but I can't deny that he's always top 10 every year, no matter how old he gets. He'll be 60 and he'll still be a top 10 defenseman. Like, obviously I'm joking, but the guy just doesn't show signs of age, and it's just insane how durable he is, how he always holds up and scores points. It's really kind of crazy, to be honest. So I'm not going to take him out of the top 10 until he shows me that he doesn't belong there anymore. Number 9, I got Aaron Ekblad. I like Aaron Ekblad a lot. He could easily be top 5 or higher, but I think he has a lot of injury risk. So I, put him at 8, but he could be definitely higher than that. Number 7, I got Morgan Riley. Like him a lot. I mean, he's top power play on the defenseman on the best power play in the league with Matthews, Marner, and all those fucking guys. Morgan Riley ain't going out of the top 10 anytime soon. He's one of the best offensive defensemen in the league. Number 6, Quinn Hughes. I think he's going to take a huge step this year. All the guy does is score points.
He's going to take a huge step.
Yep. But, Quinn Hughes, man, I mean, all he does is score points. He had a down year, a lot of people consider, last year, and he was almost assist per game. He had close to 60 assists in 6 games played. The guy is just a scoring machine at defense. Number 5, John Carlson, old reliable. I mean, he finished as the number 2 defenseman, I think, last year. Or number 3, something like that. He went on a fucking tear to end the season. John Carlson, he's younger than I thought. I thought he was older, but he's only 32, turning 33 this year. So I think there's still plenty of good play left in John Carlson, and he has, as far as last year's concerned, he does not look like he's slowing down one bit. He just keeps putting up the same insane numbers. Number 4, Victor Hedman. I think he's easily top 5. I mean, the guy's just insane in all categories. And I don't really need to explain anything about Hedman. If you guys have been playing fantasy hockey and you're listening to a podcast, Hedman's crazy. Number 3, Adam Fox. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Adam Fox just as a player in general, but for fantasy, I mean,
Why?
he's the number 1 defenseman on one of the best offenses in the league. I feel like I feel like he could be even better, and I feel like he gets lazy at times. I don't feel like he does as much defensively as he should as the number 1 defenseman on a team like that. I think he tries to score too much, and it works out most of the time, but I feel like he needs to still take a step defensively for the Rangers to they could be an easy cup contender. I just feel. And I don't know. I mean, he is usually paired with guys like Trouba that hit a lot and do all that defensive stuff. But I don't know. Just for me personally, I don't like those defensemen that just all they do is try and score. So I guess then I'm biased though because I like Quinn Hughes a lot. I don't know. I'm just looking for reasons to not. I don't know. Adam Fox, but he's very good in fantasy.
Okay.
Number 3, number 2, Roman Yossi. This guy's insane. He almost had 100 points as a defenseman last year. He would be the first guy in over 30 years to do that. He didn't hit 100 points. He got to like 96, but still, we haven't seen a point total like that even in a long ass time. I don't know if he'll repeat it, but even if he doesn't hit the 90s in points, he will still be a top 5 defenseman because he always is every year. Roman Yossi's fucking amazing. And then number 1, we're all consensus on this one, Cale Makar. The guy's the best defenseman in the league. There's nothing the guy can't do. Defensively, offensively, whatever you need him to do, he'll do it. He is one of the most selfless superstars I think I've ever seen play in a long ass time. I just like how he's just 100% all in for the team, and I just love that attitude. Cale Makar is outstanding. Really like him. So yeah, that's my top 10. Sean, what's your 10 defensemen?
Zach, you're going to argue with me on this one, but I got Devon Taves at number 10 on my list. Yeah, I think I don't know. He had an amazing season last year, and I think the Avs are going to continue to dominate in this league right now with the team that they have. They also have upgraded goaltending in the back. But Devon Taves, I think, could reach the top 10 this year. We'll see. That's another kind of sleeper pick that I threw in there just to create arguments amongst the three of us. Number 10 could be washed up, could be reignited by a new team. Or number 9, sorry, could be washed up, could be reignited by a new team. Brent Burns.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that he can put up some big points in this league. So especially
Feel the burn.
Going over to Carolina, right?
Oh yeah, I mean so he could be huge numbers this year.
He might actually come back and be the Brent Burns that we always knew like 3-4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, Quinn Hughes. I probably could throw him in higher, but honestly, don't know too much about the guy. I just know that he puts up a lot of points. Number 7, Old Faithful, Chris Letang. Like you said, Zach, keeps aging, but always remains in the top 10. So I could switch him and Hughes, and that'd probably be more accurate, but we'll see. Chris Letang is always good.
Yeah, and it's fucking annoying too. How
yeah, always puts up points. So I got him in the lower half of my top 10 just because he's getting older. But number 6, Aaron Ekblad. Number 5, Old Faithful, another Old Faithful, John Carlson.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, Adam Fox. Number 3, dude, this guy, like you said, Zach, Roman Yossi had an unbelievable season last year.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever you're getting close to 100 points as a defenseman, that's I mean,
it just doesn't happen. It's not 1980s Oilers, it's
And then I'm going to finish off my top 10 with the 2 best defensemen in the league.
Okay.
And the 2 defensemen that are leading my team to a 3rd place finish every year.
Yeah, you bastard. I can't believe you have both those guys, man. It kills me.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason that my team's any good.
I mean, they're studly.
Yeah, I got Victor Hedman at number 2, playing on, arguably the best team in the league for the past like 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
not anymore.
One of the best. Yeah, not anymore, but one of the best. One of the best players in the entire league overall. Mm-hmm. And then we got our modern day Bobby Orr at number 1, Cale Makar. Yeah. Nobody in this league or in the last 10 years is a better defenseman than Cale Makar is right now.
Yeah, what did he play? 60 games last year, and he still finished as the number 1 defenseman?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember how many points I had with him in our fantasy league this year, but let me look really quick while we're talking, because I mean, Cale Makar is unmatched. And I think honestly,
what did he have last year? 455.
455 points last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Only
In our
behind
league.
Yossi, I think.
Yeah, 455. I mean, that's incredible. Guy had 28
Mhm.
goals, 58 assists last year. 58 assists last year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, are you kidding me? Yeah, so Cale Makar, looks like we're all pretty much in consensus on that one.
And sometimes you watch him, and I think I'm watching like a winger, and it's how fast he is and how he has moves. Like he actually dekes out goalies and stuff. He could play winger if they wanted.
Yeah, I mean,
It's awesome.
it's incredible. We haven't, in all honesty, if you look at if you're looking at statistics, I mean, I don't think we've seen a defenseman like Cale Makar since Bobby Orr.
I would agree. I've seen a bunch of highlights. I've never seen a defenseman do backhand top shelf like Cale Makar. I've never seen it. It's
then still get back and play defense right after that shot.
Yeah, it's insane, dude.
He might be the fastest person, one of the fastest players in the league.
And then
outside of your typical Connor McDavid's and Nathan McKinnon's, like
right. Two of the 5 fastest players in the league are on one team. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then you wonder why they win the Stanley Cup.
Right.
Why they dominated the Stanley Cup playoffs. They lose like 2 games. So,
yeah, 16-2.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, what's your top 10?
I'm kind of regretting not putting Hedman higher now, but 10, Chris Letang, 9, Morgan Riley. I think he had like the 6th most defensive fantasy points last year. Well, that was in our league, but still kind of a breakout. Quinn Hughes at 8. I mean, he's still expected to break out. He's got all that potential, so I couldn't leave him off the list. I know he's been kind of disappointing for you, Zach, so far, but
because I view him as like he could be number 1 in the league in our league that values defense a little more. So,
yeah,
but he still had a great top 10 year last year. It's just I wanted more.
He wasn't top 10.
Well, no, he wasn't. But
did he have an injury or something? Because
he had an injury. He missed some games.
Okay.
Yeah,
got it. Because he's like 20. Okay.
Yeah,
but still has a good average at 4. Aaron Ekblad at 7. 6, Sider. Obviously, I grabbed him last year, so I have a little bias, but he's broke out. And I mean, he had like COVID or something last year where he missed some time, and he still finished number 9 in defenseman.
Yeah,
and I think that's something to say for your rookie year. And I think he could even finish top 5 this year. I just wasn't ready to put him there because it's Detroit.
Right.
I know
they did get better, but
yeah. I didn't put him. I can't put him past John Carlson yet. I mean,
old
reliable.
Yeah.
And then 4, Victor Hedman. I feel like the top 4 are we're all the same. 3, Roman Josi. I mean, he was the number 1 defenseman last year in our league.
You're splitting hairs in the top 4 here.
485 fantasy points.
Yeah.
Adam Fox. He came down a little bit back to earth last year, but still had 355 fantasy points, 4.6 average, and he finished 7th. I think he should be top 5 though. Like he should.
He should better. Be. That's why I'm saying. Like last year, I don't know. I want to see he's on such a team where he should be scoring like more. Like he
did better the year before. Yeah.
He did great the year before, and he did good in the playoffs. It's just he's still top 4 for sure.
Yeah, it was just kind of a down year. I think for him, should be better. I mean, he's that young and great.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Cale Makar, number 1.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. I'd probably move Victor Hedman to number 2 after like you guys talking about, because I thought he was older too. I thought Hedman was older, so I moved him down, but he's only 31. And
he just plays a very physical game, so there's some injury risk there. But
okay.
Victor Hedman's going to continue to produce, though.
Yeah, like hockey, you have a longer prime because you're on skates and all the gear, and I feel like a lot of these guys are playing.
Unless you're Sidney Crosby, who's washed up.
Yeah, a lot of them are still in their prime until like 35. Where like different sports, unless you're a QB in the NFL or you're LeBron James in the NBA, you're not good at 35. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Kind of a sleeper here, and I almost threw him in my top 10 instead of Devon Taves, and I'm just switching one Avs defenseman for another, but Bowen Byram, I think, is going to have an excellent year.
When we do our off-season like sleeper episodes for the upcoming year, I got Bowen Byram. I got some stats. Don't you worry.
Yeah, you throw those stats at me because I think that guy could easily break the top 10 in defenseman this year.
He's the only reason I didn't put Devon Taves in my top 10 because I think Bowen Byram is going to start phasing Taves out a little bit.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. I'm not sure it's going to happen completely this year. So I don't know,
just the playoffs. I mean, and granted, Taves and Byram both looked amazing in the playoffs. Like,
I'm in a bit of a quandary between the two of them for who breaks that top 10. But Bowen Byram, very young, very good, and he's going to have a breakout year, I think.
I'm right there with you, bud. Simpatico, yo-ho.
Why don't you have Cider in your top 10?
Dude, I don't know.
I had to make room for Devon Taves.
You had to make room for Devon Taves, dude. I had to start an argument, dude.
And Burns. Okay.
Burns.
Not a believer?
I can see.
I threw him in there because he's moving to a new team and a better team.
Oh, not just moving to a new team. He's moving to a great team.
Yeah,
and he's going to be the number one power play. It's right there for him.
Yeah, I think he's easily top 10 this year. Devon Taves, literally, you wanted to
stir up some shit.
Stir up some shit with Zach.
Because Sean even knows that I'm not a Devon Taves guy. I mean, Jake, of course, knows. I talked about it almost every episode last season.
But
I drafted him last year.
But if I was being honest, I put Mo Sider at 10 because I think he's a very good player. He's on a great team. He's going to produce more points than obviously Devon Taves. But just trying to stir the pot a little bit. Bowen Byram, though, look out for that guy. Look out for that guy.
I totally agree.
Goalies?
The only also with Byram, one thing to worry about. I mean, he did make it through the playoffs healthy and fine, but he does have concussion issues, so that's something to note with him too. There's a lot of because people that get concussions, the more he's had some bad ones, and the more you get them, the more often you get them. So.
I think Jonathan Taves, that's why he was out last year, actually. I said blood disorder earlier, and I remember hearing a rumor that it was a blood disorder. But yeah, that's another one of those situations where somebody who's prone to concussions. I think Taves has had between 7 and 10 concussions in his NHL career.
Yeah,
it's we know of, or?
Scary. It really is.
Yeah, that you know of. That you don't even know. Yeah.
I mean, hockey's shitty. You'll have a severe concussion and they'll go upper body injury.
Yeah.
You never really know what these guys deal with. They're just built different, and
you find out at the end of the playoffs every year that they're playing with broken wrists and
it's crazy.
Partially torn MCLs and ACLs, and it's just how are you guys doing this?
Yeah, they throw it all on the line, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We'll go on to goalies now. We'll move on to goalies. So I'll just start it off here.
I'll go first.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. 10, Marc-Andre Fleury. 9, Jake Oettinger. Old.
Washed.
Yeah, but he's the LeBron James diet guy, isn't he? The extreme fitness guy, Fleury.
I think he is, yeah.
He's actually got the body of an 18-year-old, Sean. 8, Thatcher Demko.
Look at this picture. Look how it glistens in the sun.
Yeah. 7, Ilya Sorokin. 6, Jacob Markstrom. 5, how do you say this guy's name?
UC
Soros?
Yeah.
4, Connor Hellebuck. I couldn't not put him in my top 10. And last year, maybe he had a down year, I guess, but he was the number 1 goalie for 2 years prior, wasn't he?
He was for a couple years there, number 1 or 2. Yeah.
I can't leave him out of the top 5 with that.
He did have an off year last year, though.
Yeah, 1 year. And he's still young, right?
Yeah, he is. He's, I think, 27, something like that.
All right. 3, Frederick Anderson. 2, Igor Shesterkin. 1, Andrei Vasilevsky.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, Sean, why don't you
A
go
little
top 10?
different, but
Top 10 goalies. I'll start with my number 10. I think he's going to rebound after not having a great year last year. But Darcy Kemper at number 10. Everyone thought he was going to be a Vezina Trophy candidate last season, going from a really bad team on the Coyotes to playing for the Avalanche, who are, obviously the best team in the league last year. So great of a year. But I think new team, you can't leave this guy out of the top 10. I think he'll come back and rebound, have a good year. So number 9, Connor Hellebuck, another rebound pick. He'll come back, have another good year. Number 8, Thatcher Demko. Number 7, Ilya Sorokin. It's just hard to say that guy's name. Number 6, Sergei Bobrovsky. I mean, this guy has won the Vezina. He's consistently one of the best goalies in the league every year. I might have him a little bit high at number 6, but I think he'll have another good season this year. So number 5, Jacob Markstrom. Number 4, UC Saros. Number 3, Frederick Anderson. And then here's where we have a little bit of, I want to hear Zach's argument for why he's got Igor Sheshturkin above Andrei Vasilevsky. I got
Don't worry.
Igor at number 2, and I got Andrei Vasilevsky at number 1. Andrei Vasilevsky can easily shut down any game, anytime. I think he's far and away the best goalie in the league.
only 28.
Yeah. So that's my top 10. What do you got, Zach?
All right, top 10. I got number 10, Marc-Andre Fleury. I think he's but he was almost top 10 last year on the Blackhawks, who were god awful. So and he got traded to the Wild, and now the Wild traded away Cam Talbot, which was his threat, of a 50-50. Marc-Andre Fleury is going to be getting all the starts on the Wild now, who I think are still a good team. They have and the Wild have the best number 1 2 years in a row now, number 1 rated defensive system. Like, they make it easy on their goalies, and Marc-Andre Fleury has a shit ton of talent already. Yeah. So I feel like he's an easy top 10 as long as he's playing and healthy. He'll be getting 60-65% of the starts.
You guys know what's going on with Robin Lehner this year?
I don't.
I was doing a little bit of research last night. And, I kind of feel like he could make the top 10 as well.
He definitely could. I just think there's still some injury stuff going on with him.
Yeah.
I think he's going to miss some time at the beginning of the season. If I read right.
Interrupt your top 10 there,
that's okay.
Jackie boy.
Number 9, Sergei Bobrovsky. He's just, age is having me drop him down here a little bit. I don't know if he can handle like 70% workload as much anymore. And they have their young stud goalie, Spencer Knight, just waiting in the wings for whenever Bobrovsky starts to slow down. But I still think as long as Bobrovsky is playing, he's still top 10 goalie. Just maybe not as high as he used to be a couple years ago, but he's still up there. Number 8, Connor Hellebuck. I'm just a little worried because of the year he had last year. I'm not sure. He didn't really carry the team like he used to, and the defense for the Jets just definitely took a step back last year and did not make it easy on him for sure. But I thought that he could still overcome stuff like that, and I don't know. It worries me just a little bit. I still got him in the top 10, but I had to move him down a little more than where I would usually rank him. I'm a Hellebuck guy, but I don't know. Just gave me some pause. Number 7, Ilya Sorokin. I mean, I think this guy took a step last year, and he's one of the highest considered goalie prospects in the league. And I think he's gonna continue to be a lock in that top 10 for years to come. Especially the Islanders have a really good defensive rated system as well. So, I mean, he's has a shit ton of talent, and they have a great defense. I feel like he's a lock for top 10. Number 6, UC Saros. Just very, very talented goalie on a good team in Nashville. He's been putting up good numbers for years. He finally got the big share of the starts last year and put up a top 5 campaign, and I think he's going to continue that this year. Number 5, Thatcher Demko. This guy gets like 75% of the starts in Vancouver. The guy's fucking insane. He is a big ass fucking guy in that net, like, and he has moves. Like, for a bigger guy, he is spry as a rutting buck.
Nobody says that, Jack.
I like Demko
Oh,
a lot.
gosh.
I think Vancouver as a team got a lot better. Is gonna be better with Bruce Boudreau, their new coach, Sean's favorite coach.
Bruce Boudreau, that guy.
But yeah, I like Demko a lot. I think he's easily top 5. Lock it in. Yep. Number 4, Jacob Markstrom had a great year last year on Calgary. Was a top 3.
His team is regressing this year significantly.
I don't know about that. I think he's still going to be good. They got Mackenzie Weegar.
I think he's still going to be good, but his team in front of him is got significantly worse in the offseason.
I feel like they got better. They brought in Mackenzie Weegar and Jonathan Huberdeau.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't do anything. They lost Johnny Hockey. They lost Kachuk. Like they took a couple of really big hits this year.
They lost some offense, but I feel like their defense got better with Mackenzie Weegar.
Yeah. Well, that'll bode well for Markstrom. I'm just thinking about the team overall.
I hear you. I still think he's top 10. You know, maybe not 4, but I don't know. He just had such a good year last year. I couldn't. You know, I don't know how far he's going to fall off. So I think 4.
I'm not saying he's not top 5. I got him in my top 5 too. So sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to interrupt you again there, Zach.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Just stirring the pot, you know.
Your pot stirrer.
Yeah.
Number 3, Frederick Anderson. I feel like as long as this guy's healthy, he's easily on Carolina. He's got a easy top 5, but he's got to stay healthy. And sometimes I feel like he gets himself like mentally like in a funk, and he sometimes can struggle for stretches. But I feel like that sometimes is injury, and he's trying to play every game. He wants to be so great, and I feel like he, you know, gets himself in funks that he hard to get out of, like mentally stuff. So I think he's easily top 5. I think he could definitely do it. He's done it in the past. He's locked into all the starts as long as he's healthy, and one of the best teams in the league in Carolina. So I could easily see top 3 finish. And then what Sean was getting to, I have Andrei Vasilevsky at number 2, just because Vasilevsky, you know, he was like the number 5 goalie last year. He had a lot of games where he didn't look like the dominant Vasilevsky, and I was kind of surprised because a lot of people take him with like a 1st or 2nd round pick. Yeah, and there was guys like Markstrom that were waiver wire picks that finished like as number 3 and looked so great. And then Vasilevsky had a great end to the season, but at the start of the season, Vasilevsky was struggling quite a bit.
I will say that my opinion of putting Vasilevsky at 1st was, you know, based on how he played the playoffs last year. I mean, nobody could get past the guy.
And I feel like
I realize that fantasy is more about that regular season play, but you know, with Vasilevsky, if he plays anything like he did in the playoffs last year, he's your number 1 goalie.
I feel like I feel like everybody on the Tampa Bay team knows how talented they are, and I feel like Vasilevsky was just trying to save himself for the playoffs, you know, type of thing. And if that's the case, I don't know if he's easily the number 1 goalie anymore. Because he is getting a little older. There's, you know, 24, 25-year-old Igor Shesterkin, who is just a fucking beast. I think he is easily just as talented, if not more, than Vasilevsky, and he's younger, has the drive to be great. I think he could easily be the number 1, and I don't think it's like a hot take to say Shesterkin, because he was number 1 goalie last year. I think he can continue it again, being on that New York Rangers team.
He's 26 and Andre's 29.
Mm-hmm.
They're not that far apart, but
that's an old.
He did score the most.
That's an old 29 for Vasilevsky, because all the years that they make deep playoff runs and everything. But
he's 28. Sorry, 28.
Yeah.
So 2 years apart.
I don't know. I could see Shesterkin being the number 1 and Vasilevsky being like in number 2, 3, and still being great. But I don't know. Maybe we start to see.
I was doing a little research this morning and just looking at some of these lists. Like, none of us have Tristan Jarry or Jake Oettinger on our lists.
Jake has Jake Oettinger.
You do? Okay. Yeah.
I like Ottinger, but I don't really like him over any of these other guys. And I feel like there's a lot of good goalies, you know. And
You would take Marc-Andre Fleury before Jake Ottinger?
I would take
I
Tristan
think-
Jerry over him, I think. Over
Yeah.
Andre Fleury.
not a
I
big
missed
Jerry
him.
guy. Not a big Jerry guy.
But he's got the. I guess maybe it's not a better team anymore. I thought they were.
I just feel like the Wild are a better team, the overall team, and with that defensive scheme, then what was the guy you were asking me about, Sean? Jake Ottinger. I think Dallas is a decent team, but I just think overall, I think the situation's a little better for Andre Fleury, where he won't have to carry a team. Ottinger is going to carry the Stars, you know?
Now that I'm thinking about it, I would probably throw Tristan Jerry in my top 10 as well. Like, I don't know who you know, just like looking at my list, I don't know who I would take out, but
he's an easy,
Connor
play.
Hellebuck or Darcy Kemper, but Tristan Jerry, you know, playing on a really good team with the Penguins.
He is good.
He could easily be a top 10 goalie.
He is good, that's for sure.
Sorry, just stirring the pot a little bit more.
No, that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, so anything else you guys want to add, though?
What about Jack Campbell?
Oh, no, that's a no for me, Doug.
He's projected on ESPN to have the 6th most fantasy points among goalies.
That's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. That is insane. He's not. No, the Oilers, though. I mean, he's not gonna. He had a better defensive scheme in Toronto, and that's saying something. I mean, Edmonton. I don't trust their defense to hold up. I mean, you saw that
in Toronto outside of Darnell Nurse, Leon Draisaitl, and Connor McDavid.
He's gonna. I mean, Jack Campbell's gonna have to be making 40 saves a game.
Wait, you know what the new forward?
I don't know if he can hold up to that. I'm a big fan of Evander Kane. I don't know if Sean. I don't think Sean is.
Okay. No, I can't stand Evander Kane.
He's a banger, though, dude.
Though. Yeah, he helps on the defensive end.
I can't stand that guy. But yeah, I realize that he's one of the best players in the league. But
I mean, yeah, he's a piece of shit off the ice, but we're talking about on the ice, you know.
Yeah, he's kind of a piece of shit on the ice too.
Yeah, I mean, he does do some dirty hits every now and then, but I mean, I feel like guys that hit as much as him are prone to bad hits.
Is going to produce a lot of fantasy points, but I can't pick him in my top list because he's just such a piece of shit.
He did. I mean, he was the waiver wire pickup of the year last year, and he did help me win against Jake. So.
Yeah, it's real tough being in a fantasy league with 2 guys that run a fantasy podcast.
Well, 3 now. You're our guest.
I got
this is
lucky.
The 1-2-3, by the way. The 1-2-3 of last year.
What is?
The 3 of us.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you almost made it to the finals. I
knocked you off, dude. I was so pissed.
Yeah, well, that was so close. That was like, man, we were scratching and clawing, picking up guys like that week. Like,
Actually, I didn't pick up anybody, but you know.
Oh.
Yeah,
well.
I could have if I invested myself a little bit more, I would have whooped your ass.
I would have mopped the floor with your ass.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the numbers say differently.
Who did you pick up to win, Zach?
You look
Evander Kane.
Look out this year, Zach.
And you wouldn't trade him to me.
You know,
big old fan of whoop ass.
Yeah, fuck me, dude. I wouldn't trade him to you.
What did you try getting from me this year, Jake?
I sent you some good ass offers.
No, Zach.
You, Sean?
I tried to get Cale McCarr from Sean.
Yeah, dude, he's not Deanna. Jesus.
I offered him a lot.
Yeah, not enough.
Not enough, dude. I offered you.
All right. Let's end the podcast and then talk shit.
Over my dead, lifeless hands.
No, I want. We're into this now here. Oh. I just no, but I offered Sean.
You offered me John Carlson and somebody else.
I offered you John Carlson and your choice of Philip Forsberg or Evander Kane.
Oh, Philip Forsberg. Yeah, I really want him for Cale McCarr.
He was an average of 5 last season.
Are you keeping Evander Kane, Zach?
I'm not.
Oh, fuck yes.
I'm going to try and get him because I didn't want to keep him over Kyle Connor.
You will try.
I'm going to try and get him back. But anyways, I think we'll think we'll wrap this one up here. Thank you all for listening to our top 10 rankings.
Yes.
And stay tuned for our follow-up off-season episode where we talk about our breakout and sleeper players. And we go over a little bit of like some key free agent pickups and some key trades that were made in the off-season. It'll be a real humdinger of an episode. Am I right, boys? Yo ho.
Yo ho.
Yo,
Anyways.
ho.
Thank you all for listening. And just real quick reminder, come follow us on our social media. Hit that thick like and subscribe button on the YouTube, how you're listening to this podcast right now. And go follow us on our social media. We got Facebook, facebook.com/Garden of Sports Podcast. We have Instagram, instagram.com/Garden of Sports. And we got Twitter, twitter.com/GOSPod 2021. Go give us a follow. You won't regret it. It'll be fucking awesome. Can't wait to see you over there. And we'll catch you back here next time with another off-season fantasy hockey episode. Thank you all.
Yes, sir.
See ya.